don't do poly, I do intentional relationship design, because what I realize is when I say poly, everybody has a different idea of what poly is, and nobody's is the same, right? And so there's a lot of judgment. Oh, you're not doing poly, you're doing swing, or you're doing this, you're doing that. I create the relational ecosystem that I thrive best in,
Okay. It's beautiful.
right? That's what I try to do. And I try to make it equitable, not equal, right? And so to me, that's my goal because I'm also a poly dominant, right? And so as dominants, we know that there's a power imbalance. There are things that my subs, which my partners are usually my subs, can and can't do because they are my subs. But there's also things that they can and can't do because they're my partners, just like there's things that I can't and can't do because I'm their partner, right? So that being said, the conversations that I like to have evolved over the years. Before it was just me and Indigo, and me and Indigo like to go out. We call it hunting. We would go out and we would meet people and we would date people. So there was no real conversation because she was there for all the conversations. Do you see what I'm saying? Then me and Indigo met another person and we kind of became polyfidelities. And it was kind of like she just she just wanted to blend in. So she was like, I don't care if I'm with it or not, but if you want to include me, I'm with it. But other than that, I don't need to know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh,
Right.
what was
Then
that word that you used? Poly what?
fidelitas.
Delative. Okay, I've never heard that before.
Explain that.
Yeah.
So polyfidelitas is a very old term. And what it means is we have a closed poly unit. And usually we have to sit down and all agree on who we open it up to and
Okay.
in what way. Right. I think something similar it's a type of kitchen table poly, right? So that's a kind of thing. Then we met another person and it changed again because this person was in porn. And so we had to have constant conversation about is this sex for work? Is this sex for fun? Is this play for this? Is this play for that? And so our conversation started shaping around that. Then we merged families, and so we had about 25 people in our group, in our poly family. And so um we had two representatives of each family,
Dang.
and they would have the individual conversations with each other, and then we would come together and represent our families. And then we would switch, and then we would talk to each other's families just to make sure we're all coherent. And then we bring everybody together.
Wow.
And we would do that every time we do it. And then people after that could pair off in whatever kind of dynamics that they want to pair off in.
Wow.
That's
That's
so exciting.
interesting.
Like posting a party.
Right.
All
Yeah.
right.
So, so the conversation has changed, but I think if we're talking about what the average person is doing, the average person should be recognizing what what is their requirements, what are their needs, and what are their wants, right? So it's like a business negotiation. There's something that if we're going to make this merger happen, there are requirements that need to be met. Like I don't want to lose time, right? If someone else comes in and I have to lose time, I think that that time requirement is like a deal breaker for me, right? There's things I need. I need to have trust, honesty, openness. I need to make sure that people are being transparent because they're not all the same thing. Wants, I want to have freaky sex. I want to have group sex. I want to have company. I want to have companionship. I want to have more people who are adding to my happiness and no one taking away from it. Right. So you can say, what are your requirements in order to be in this polyamorous relationship? Right. And then what do you need in order to feel happy or joy or pleasure? Right. What do you want? Meaning it's going to make you happy, but if you don't get it, it's not a deal breaker.
Mm. Mm.
Thing on the cake. Right.
Yeah.
So to me, that's another way of that's the type of conversation that I would have.